We'd like to thank you for watching LivingStrongTV.com. We would also like to take a moment to give you an opportunity to become a partner and sow a seed into our ministry. In order to sow a seed, you can click on the donation tab, or if you choose to mail your seed, you can send it to P.O. Box 363, Ridgeland, South Carolina 29936. The information is also located on the screen. Please make all checks and money orders payable to Whosoever Will Outreach Ministries. Once again, thank you for your support and becoming a partner with Living Strong. May you continually be blessed.
Well, hello and hello again, and welcome to another edition of the Living Strong Television Network broadcast, where I'm your host, guest speaker, Prophet Scottie Lee Johnson. I want you to do yourself a favor and call a friend and call a neighbor and let them know that Living Strong is on. And once again, you know you can't go wrong when you're watching and living strong. That fast is 30 minutes. It is starting right now. This is indeed the hour of power. And this is indeed the return of the warriors. This is the time in which God is saying once again, I am the repairer of the breach, the restorer of path to dwell in. I call those things that be not as though they were. Speak and say unto this mountain, and if thou shalt believe in thy heart, you shall have whatsoever you said forth. What? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Water, birds, trees, the mechanism of all things. Cars, houses, airplanes, rubber, metal, glass, copper, gold, silver. And even as we continue, thank you for being patient with us. The Father is saying once again that this is the hour of power, and this is the time that glory is about to be restored, unlike anything that you've ever seen before. Now, I'm going to repeat something here. I made mention earlier about all of the things in life based upon wood, based upon iron, metal, copper, bird, trees, bees. Each and everything that consists in life makes up life. So we find out that there are millions of species of animals and creatures yet to be discovered, and there's an unfolding of this metropolis in a season and a time in which God is calling men to order and to bend their knees and to wave the white flag of surrender to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and said, I did not raise you to be conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because with every temptation, Father is making a way to escape, and he's saying that your leapfrog days are over. He's tired of fattening up the frogs just to go feed the snakes. What he's doing is bringing a real delivering order in time and on time. And I hear the Lord saying that the messenger Gabriel this time is carrying the money bag. Last time he had to fight the prince of Persia and Michael come alongside. But in the midst of it all, Daniel's prayer was still answered. And Father is saying to tell you tonight that the Bible declares to give, and it shall be what? Given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall mend the hour of power, the time of dedication. And I want you to know right now, the Father is infusing you with a strong mechanism. You need to call a friend, you need to call a neighbor, and let them know that Living Strong is on, and that Prophet Johnson is talking about the fact that you were chosen by design. And because you were chosen by design, every precious metal that there is in you. And this is something that the enemy does not want you to know. But we're going back to the book of Psalms on tonight, 45, in case you missed it on last night. We're going to recap, and we're going to run and not be weary, and we're going to walk and not faint, because I hear the Lord saying, so shall it be that my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves, oh my God, and begin to turn from their wicked ways. He's hearing from heaven, he's healing the land, and so shall it be. My word that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall accomplish that, what? That whereunto I sent it. Naaman, get ready for your blessing, because it went down to the river Jordan. Go down there, dip 7 times, and you're going to get healed, because the word is no longer in the prophet's mouth. The word is in your house. And what God is saying to tell you is that he's preparing to loose your property like you've never seen it loose before. But it also declares to give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. So what is God saying? If nothing goes out, nothing really comes in. And here's what the Father is releasing. He's saying there's a late time that's coming up, and there's a whole lot of people, you got a late fee due with God. Whether or not you know it, you owe him some interest. You say, well, Prophet Johnson, what do you mean by that? Haven't been tithing, haven't been giving, haven't been sowing. All you've been doing is just going. You got more folks at the mall right now than you do at a yard sale. I've never seen anything like it, to where everything is still turning over. When you spend it, you cause currency to go in circulation. That's why the prophet was able to speak to the woman whose son, the bondsmen, they're coming to get him. And he said, hey, what do you got in the house? And she said, look, I just got some oil in there. He said, go get all the vessels you can find. What vessels? Those vessels that God is saying, I have made by design. Now, what is this that we're talking about, chosen by design? This chosen by design is not just any design we're talking about. Isn't it amazing that they can figure out computers, figure out robots, figure out cars and airplanes, but they still cannot too much put together a man's brain? You know why? Because he's crazy on one end, nuts on the other end, happy on one end, sad on the other. If you can figure all that out, then you put it together. You know, and then they come up with the saying that a lot of folks are bipolar. Well, if that's the case, you know, bipolar means to go from one extreme to the other. You know, one moment you're crazy, the next moment you're happy. If that's the case, half the folks in the church bipolar. So when you look at bipolar and all these things, and they come up with everything else, and did you ever notice that on television, and I don't know any of those pills' name, and I don't care to call any of them out, some of them, whatever the cases they may be, the Food and Drug Administration, they'll put out all those pills. And you know, one little purple pill or one something with a butterfly flying in the air that's supposed to heal a headache, going to give you 25 symptoms that's going to halfway kill you. You can come up with liver disease and all kind of crazy stuff. You know, and you sit there and you wonder, who made me? The Bible declares that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So there's something that man can figure out. They can figure out the stars, they can figure out the earth, but they cannot figure out how the bones grow inside of a woman's body. And this design is so unique. But you are designed by choice. It's not an accident that your mother met your father. You know, I was about to say your mama met your daddy. That your mother met your father. Okay? And all of that was the design of a spoken word. Let's get on this right now. In Psalms chapter number 45, in verse number 1, my heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of those things, watch this, which I have made. Which I have made what? Oh, well, let's look at this a little bit further. In order to examine this, all we got to do is just step on over into the book Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And we'll find John chapter number 1, and listen to this right here. Oh, it's getting good already. Woo, I feel the Creator beginning to show up in this place. And God is saying to tell you, no, not tonight. It's not just your imagination. There are folks that are watching me on tonight. The Father's saying to tell you that your tongue is a spoken identity. Your tongue is a creative force. Your tongue is a world of wonder. And he's saying, look, something is happening. In verse number 1 in chapter number 45, my heart, what heart? The design of who I am. When you look at the word heart, let's break it down. H-E-A-R-T. I talked about this the other night. First two words, he. Look at the first four words. Cover up the T. Here, H-E-A-R. Do you see it? Now, cover up the H-E, and then put your finger right over H-E. You got art. He, here, what? Art. Where at? Cover up the H, and cover up the T, and the center of heart, you got ear. Which means you are the artwork, you are the design, and you are the heart of God. And he hear his artwork in his ear. Who is this that's singing me a song? Who is this that's giving me a praise dance? Who is this that's rapping to my beat? Who's cooking me a meal? Who's burning me a candle? What incense is this that I have? Who's killed me the fatted lamb? Who has a celebration going on? Let Jesus show up, because he answers to his artwork, his design, by choice, which is you and I. And God is saying to tell you that he's going to remove the pleasure that you have had by measure. In other words, you got pleasure simply by measure, but God said, no, I want your pleasure to be able to meet your measure. And what he's doing is that he's not allowing you to be taken aback by society. We're not playing the love games no more. I told them on last night, I believe it was, made mention of it early. And I want to make sure I say it right again tonight. God want to give you a love that will never last, except it lasts until the end. I know that's right. Talk to me quick one time. So what he's doing is that he's shifting the purpose to be in time. There comes, to be in time to equal my will. You need to write this. He's shifting purpose to be in time to equal my will for you or for my people in life. God is saying, I'm shifting purpose so fast to be in time to make sure that my will equals your will equals his will in life, and so things can come to pass like you've never seen before. Ooh, I see this like never before. There's coming acceleration now. There's coming acceleration. And he goes on to say, my heart is indicting, verse number 1, Psalms 45, a good matter. Something good is happening. Watch this. I speak of the things which I have made, created, spoken, envisioned, harnessed, released, manifested. If you believe, you don't sit up there and, oh Lord, I believe you. You going back and you worried and you shaking worse than Barney Fife trying to fight the Incredible Hulk. If you believe, then there's a level of faith inside of you. Okay, let me say it this way. Let me just get it. Let me just do it like this, okay? Now, if if you're going to pray, you got to remember that prayer without faith is no good. But faith will work even if you don't pray. Now, if you don't believe me, the last time you sat down on your couch or at the chair at a restaurant, how many of you went up and prayed for that chair that it did not fall? None of you. All of you sat down in faith. Now, there were some chairs that did crash, on a couple of 300-pound folks for real in restaurants. They broke the table. Chair down right there. But that happened for real. Now, but even in the pulpit, there was one big old fella. He was just squinching around in the pulpit. He squinched on around, and he squinched right on off of the chair. But you didn't go and pray and ask God to let that chair hold you. You went and you sat down, and your faith was automatic. All right? Now, here's your answer. Now, if you can get this, things going to happen. Woo! Boy, if you can get this, we're going to bypass Yale and Harvard, and you're going to be right there in that fourth dimension, and you're going to have the revelation say, oh, my God, Prophet Johnson, you are so right. Thank you for letting me watch Living Strong. Good, sow a seed. Now, listen to me. When you know something, you don't have to believe simply for it. When you know something, you don't have to have faith for it in knowing it. Now watch this. This is where I'm getting at. You have already went past belief. You've already went past faith. So now you no longer just believe. That's elementary stuff. That's where you got candy and cookies on the field there. And you no longer just have faith for that, because now you so bad till you don't told faith to go sit down in the first grade and just wait on me. Now you know it. You know beyond the shadow of a doubt that with what God said, he's going to bring it to pass. I will not let you go until you bless my soul. I'll die knowing that I know that I know that I know, just as well as you know who you are. Your design is so unique until God didn't make nobody that looked just like you, even in twins. Well, I know twins that look alike. You want to do a little contest and see if we can see who wins, just looking at both of them and find out. All you got to do is look at one spot. That's Jeff with a mole on his nose. That's John with a mole on his ear. You see? That's how they identify cats and tigers and leopards and all that stuff, by their stripes. Same thing with God. And it's amazing. But I often tell people, I thank God that, I used to want a twin real bad sometime growing up. I used to wish I had a twin, but now I see why God didn't give me one, because there would have been a fight every day. Now listen, in the book of John, remember we talked about in Psalms 45, I speak of those things which I have made. But look in the book of John now, chapter number 1, and verse number 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And you know this, a lot of you know this, and the Word was God. Now watch this. Now, first of all, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. You mean to tell me God was the Word? In the beginning was the Word. So Jesus is the Word of God, written into the hearts of men. He's that spirit, man, flesh incarnate that walked and dwelt among us. But inside of him was wrapped up Word, or a God Word. Same thing in you and I. So once you realize that you have, here it comes. The Lord is saying that I have given you spoken words of power. And he's saying, I have given you my artwork, and I have placed my poetry in you. You are my poetry. You are my poet writer. You are my engager. You are my dancer. You are the one that I use as a weapon to destroy the enemy. Without your praise, there can be no victory. Without your prayer, there can be no defeat. Without your intercessory, there can be no healing. Without your faith, there can be no hope. Without your belief, there will be no deliverance. So when you know your design, and you say to society and to the system, no longer am I going to sit back and let you run over me and my family. I'm going to call those things, and I say it all the time, that be not as though they were. And no longer am I going to sit back and be a victim and become a victim to the circumstances and sit back on the street of no hope and Depression Boulevard. Get up off your seat and go back to school. Get up off that rump. You've been on that stump, sitting down too long in that same old home. Get up off your rump. Get up off that stump. And let God move on your behalf, and believe him tonight for your healing. Because I hear the Lord saying, oh my God, there's a lot of people right now Woo, Jesus, I see furniture moving everywhere. Folks moving. I see people scrambling. And I hear the Lord saying divine order is coming in. And I hear the Lord saying, tell my people that even as they get the house in order, that I am removing frustration. He said, tell them that I am sending forth angels and angelic hosts of prosperity. Gabriel delivered Daniel a word. The angel came and delivered a word concerning Samson. The angel came and delivered a word to Mary. And they stood and said, you men of Galilee, we're standing here watching this word go up. The same Jesus that was right here and went up is coming back likewise. And so we see that this design is by choice. You were chosen by a special design. You ever see the folks who design clothes, purses? Let me see if I can think of one. What's his name? Vuitton guy, Louis Vuitton, Vuitton, Louis, yeah, that guy. And Tommy Hilfiger, that guy, Tommy Hilfiger and Louis Vuitton, them, those guys, they just got designs, right? You know, when you think about it, that design was in them before they came up with Hilfiger and Vuitton. That design was already there. You ever see people that sing and rap and do their talents and their gift? You know, like Beyonce, that design is already there. It's there. It's already there. Now what God is saying is that I want to activate the multiplicities of your talent. Somebody watching me right now tonight, you are supposed to be an actor. You are supposed to be in Hollywood. And God is saying that he wants to activate your gifts now, not another day. There are people on the side of that door, and there are people on the side of that door. And I'm telling you on tonight, the Lord is saying, tell my people to call unto me, for I shall open unto them 3 doors of success between now and this year, next year. If that makes any sense. Between now, before this year is out, and by this time next year, the Lord is saying, you might as well get that down. You can seal it, because he's saying windows of heavens will open up. And God is saying, if you give, I'll move. Listen to this. If you give, I'll move. If you give, I'll move. Just like the little widow woman, she had to believe God. Elijah said, make for me a cake first. And then for you and your son. But she was going to make it for her and her son and eat it and die. The ravens fed Elijah bread and meat in the morning and in the afternoon. Elijah was the first one to eat a Big Mac or a hamburger. The ravens taught him how to make a hamburger. It wasn't McDonald's. Prophet Johnson, why you always say McDonald's? Because I go there too much. I like the fish sandwich at McDonald's. Okay? So give those guys a raise there. All right? Now, listen to me. And you've got to know that, oh God, this is it. Woo, he is moving. Y'all, this is not even perfect. No. The Lord is saying to tell you that what he's doing is that he's inventing in you time for now. Time for now to be released. If you start speaking, this is going to be a good word on this week, y'all. Listen, call a friend, call a neighbor, and let them know that Living Strong is on. Tell them to turn it on before I go off. Okay? Now, listen to me. This is very important, because the Lord is allowing your inventive or your creative move. He's just like he gives witty inventions unto men. He drops ideas into your mind. Spirit, divine timings. You can't keep up with all of this. He's saying divine timings. Oh, yes. He's saying divine timings. It's becoming the honor and the glory that he's releasing towards the purposes of your life. And it's not just a figment of your imagination. Oh no, because the Father's saying you're not going to lose time. There are people that God is saying death have come enough to your family. He's turning back that clock like he did on Hezekiah. And he's saying to tell you that, just like I said earlier, if I've got to be in purpose to get my will done, if I got to break a law and walk on water, I'll get it done. Just don't touch Jerusalem. Well, where did that come from? The same was in the beginning with God, the Word. Remember, everything that was made by him. Now watch this design now, because you are the architect that came from the great architectural worker. Now, we can talk about the potter and the clay, but let's move beyond that. There goes. Not now, Lord, I'll quote it. That we don't have time to run to the scripture there. Yeah, I'll quote it. He declares that the deep call it unto the deep at the noise of thy water spouts. So there's something in you. This is a deep season for my people. Oh my God, this is a deep season for my people, because the Father is saying that I am going to arrest the enemy that have been trying to arrest you, preach, prophet, and I am going to imprison the enemy that's been trying to imprison you. Everything and everybody and every individual and every entity that came to take your joy, that came to take your peace, that came to take your sleep, and came to destroy your family and to make you doubt and to wonder, where is this God that we serve? He said, surely there's a sign that shall be given to mankind, and that is that a star is born. And you are that star, and you was the star in the heavens before the bright and morning star ever even thought about it. You was the star before Hollywood even ever got a star. And you was the star in God's design even before Satan claimed himself to be one. He ain't nothing but an old broke down, crippled up old star with a scar. That's all he is. He know he's held bound and will never be found. There's glory coming in, surrounding that thing. There's a smoke cloud entering in there around that camera. There's an angel highlighting that. And I've never seen heat come off of that like that before. So I'm kind of mesmerized and stuck between y'all and what I'm seeing as a whole. Because the Lord is saying, Shada, he's saying that he is penetrating your future. And some of you say, Prophet Johnson, thank God for you. Keep telling it like it is. I'm penetrating your future. Because the alignment is this. I don't care how good your preachers, your pastors, your teachers, and your leaders are. There's coming a time that the four walls is going to speak to the truth of it all. And God is going to lead an arsenal out into the highways, the hedges, and the byways, and compel those that are without to come in. It won't be about your bishop's title. It won't be about your apostle 78 churches. It won't be about your pastor little anointed congregations. It won't be about the little traveling evangelist that's going around collecting pocket change. It won't be about the little teacher that comes in on Sunday and to make sure everybody dresses up in white on Monday. Listen to me. It's going to be about doing God's will by design. And it's going to be about releasing his architectural truth. And he's saying to tell you, yes, sir, that he's coming to you with penetrating forth, with penetrating eyes. He's saying, how long shall the levee hold the dam? How long shall it hold back the pressure of the water? How long will the earth hold back my praise and take my glory? How long? Not long. Not long. That's why the Living Strong viewers, it's no great thing for you that Pope Francis is on Time magazine. That's nothing great. That's nothing, no surprise for you. I mean, it's no great news for you. You're like, we already watched Living Strong. Prophet Johnson already got us ahead of that stuff. Hey, high five. Hey. Next. You see? Because we already know what the deal is. God's turning it. He's turning it. That's why you're ahead of time. See, he's forcing the issue. He's forcing the issue. Poverty, racism. I'm not talking about that tonight. I'm too happy to fly that kite. Not tonight. Verse number 3. My time is running out. Listen to this. Here it comes. We're going to pick this up again on tomorrow night. Just in case your friend or your neighbor just logged on, they just in time to close off. To with us and make sure that they also sow a seed with you and send a donation. We got about a minute left. All things, listen to this, were made. What? By him, but my tongue is as the pen of a ready writer. I speak of those things which I have made touching the king. But in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the same in the beginning was with God, was God, and there was nothing made except all things were made by him. The Word. If you ever learn to talk stuff, God will fill up your bus. If you ever learn to ride, you'll walk with a whole new stride. If you can get your word affixed to your kindred and not your cousin, you'll find out that you're partakers of his inheritance. If you can say what God says and do what he tells you to do and not be stubborn, not be pig-headed, and not be mad at me, then guess what? We all will get blessed. In closing, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And we are going to pick it up again on tomorrow night. And I want you to know that that fast is 30 minutes. It is already come and gone your way. And on tomorrow night, we'll be back. Powerful prophetic release. Same time, same channel. I want you to stay tuned and invite a friend and a neighbor and let them know that the exciting, fastest 30 minutes in broadcast, livingstrongtelevision.com, comes your way live each and every night with host, speaker, myself, Prophet Scottie Lee Johnson. Hey, that's my time. I hear something coming. Here it comes. Here it comes. You know what it is? That's right. Always remember in life, whatever you do, live to love and love to live. Have a good night. Bye now.
We'd like to thank you for watching LivingStrongTV.com. We would also like to take a moment to give you an opportunity to become a partner and sow a seed into our ministry. In order to sow a seed, you can click on the donation tab, or if you choose to mail your seed, you can send it to P.O. Box 363, Ridgeland, South Carolina 29936. The information is also located on the screen. Please make all checks and money orders payable to Whosoever Will Outreach Ministries. Once again, thank you for your support and becoming a partner with Living Strong. May you continually be blessed.
Good, and my hope is